Hi everyone. How are you today? Today I will talk about debris pollution in Chapter 3.
What is aquatic debris? Aquatic debris is any man-made object intentionally, or unintentionally, discarded, disposed of, or abandoned that enters the aquatic environment. Debris is also known as litter, is human-created waste that has deliberately, or accidentally been released in the lake, river, sea, ocean, or waterway.
In the marine environment, 80% of debris originates onshore, which mean that the source is from land, and 20% from offshore sources. Marine debris can also define as something in the marine environment, ocean, and beach, that does not naturally occur there.
More technical definition according to National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, is any persistent solid material that is manufactured, or processed, and directly, intentionally or unintentionally, disposed of or abandoned into the marine environment.
Floating oceanic debris tends to accumulate at the center of gyres, and on coastlines known as beach litter. Deliberate disposal of wastes at sea is called ocean dumping. Some naturally occurring debris, such as driftwood, are also present in the aquatic environment.
Aquatic debris is a problem with no geographical boundaries. Mean that the floating debris can be found in any region that have a coastline. This persistent aquatic debris can be found on just about every coast and waterway in the world.
This figure shows that the debris from Japan during the tsunami in Fukushima, expected to be found in the United States. After the incident, scientists tried to calculate when the debris would reach US. I believe, now, after 10 years, a lot of Japanese debris has already landed on the coastline of US, or even in other regions in the Pacific Ocean.
There are several types of aquatic debris that are commonly found in our environment. The first one is plastic. As society has developed new uses for plastics, the variety and quantity of plastic items found in the marine environment has increased dramatically. These products range from common domestic materials such as bags, cups, bottles, balloons, to industrial products such as strapping bands, plastic sheeting, hard hats, and resin pellets, to lost or discarded fishing gear such as nets, buoys, traps, and lines by fishing activities.
The second type is glass, metal, styrofoam, and also rubber. These materials are similar to plastic, in that they are used for a wide range of products. While they can be worn away, and broken down into smaller and smaller fragments, they generally do not biodegrade entirely. As these materials are used commonly in our society, their occurrence as marine debris is overwhelming and can be found everywhere.
The third one is derelict fishing gear. Derelict fishing gear refers to nets, lines, crab or shrimp pots, and other recreational or commercial fishing equipment that has been lost, abandoned, or discarded in the marine environment. Modern gear is generally made of synthetic materials and metal, and the lost gear can persist for a very long time in the marine environment.
And lastly, derelict vessels. Thousands of abandoned and derelict vessels litter ports, waterways and estuaries, creating a threat to navigation, recreation, and the environment. Many vessels end up sinking at moorings, semi-submerged in the intertidal zone, or stranding on shorelines, on reefs or in marshes, and breaking apart.
Example of derelict vessel that commonly found in our waters. Normally this derelict vessel become home for many species or organisms, such as coral reefs and fishes. This table shows the top 10 marine debris items that can be found in our coastal area, and also around the world.
If the ocean animal can talk, I think they will say that plastic doesn't belong in our oceans, it belongs in your recycling bins.
How does debris can enter the marine environment? As I mentioned before, there is two sources of debris in the marine environment, land and ocean source. For the land-based sources, the debris washed out to the ocean via rivers, streams and storm drain indirectly. Littering, dumping, and poor waste management practices can cause intentional or unintentional disposal of domestic or industrial wastes on land, or in rivers, or streams. Storm water discharges, where the storm drains carry this water together with debris to a nearby river, stream, canal, or even directly to the ocean.
Besides that, the extreme natural events such as hurricanes, tsunamis, floods, and mudslides have devastating effects on human life and property.
This figure shows how easily the debris can enter the marine environment from land-based sources. And lastly, debris such as plastic can be mistaken as food by marine organisms such as turtles and dolphins.
The second source is ocean-based source. This involves directly illegal dumping, or accidental loss of debris from a ship and stationary platform. Fishing gear may be lost from commercial fishing vessels, as well as from recreational boats. From stationary platforms. The offshore oil and gas platforms are surrounded by water and far away from land, and all items lost from these structures become marine debris.
Cargo ships and other vessels. Cargo lost overboard from freighters, cruise ships, and other vessels pose serious threats to marine navigation.
Literature estimated 10,000 containers at sea each year are lost by container ships, usually during storms. One famous spillage occurred in the Pacific Ocean in year 1992, when thousands of rubber ducks and other toys went overboard during a storm. The toys have since been found all over the world, providing a better understanding of ocean currents.
Similar incidents have happened before, such as when Hansa carrier dropped 21 containers in 1990, with one notably containing buoyant Nike shoes. This incident is known as the Great Shoe Spill of 1990.
The common causes and sources of marine debris in the ocean. Illegal dumping, onshore industries, offshore oil and gas operation, unsecure garbage bins, improper disposal, recreational boaters. Commercial vessels, cumulative small-scale sources, event balloon releases, carelessness by human activities.
Let's learn about debris characteristic. Some types of debris persist in the aquatic environment for extremely long periods. For example, glass bottles take around 700 years, plastic bottles around 450 years, and aluminium can around 200 years.
The floating debris can be transported by water current on the surface, or in the water column. Depend on what type of debris. Other debris can sink and remains on the sea floor. For example, glass, aluminium can or steel-made products.
What are the threats of marine debris? Marine debris threatens both people and wildlife. On the beach, people can step on debris such as broken glass, and children can put debris like discarded cigarette butts into their mouths. In the water, debris can damage boats and present a safety hazard for divers.
Marine debris threatens wildlife through entanglement and ingestion. Animals such as whales and sea turtles have died from ingesting items such as plastic bag.
Each year, many species of marine animal, including seabirds, marine mammals, and sea turtles die from becoming entangled in marine debris, or ingesting marine debris that they have mistaken for food.
Entanglement and ingestion of marine debris can harm marine life. Entanglement can be defined as an animal gets ensnared in the loops and opening of debris. Ingestion is an animal can mistake marine debris for food, accidentally ingest it, and degraded debris can be ingested by filter-feeding organisms. Smothering can be defined as the marine debris may disrupt feeding, reproduction, movement or severely impair the health of sessile animals.
In the marine environment, entanglement can occur accidentally, when the animal is curious about an object, or using it for shelter to protect themselves from other predator. The entanglement can be harmful to marine organisms because it can cause drowning, disrupt or prevent feeding, restrict movement or ability to swim, increase vulnerability to predators, result in infection.
Example of entanglement: derelict fishing gear, rope, and strapping bands are common items that entangle marine organisms. Ghost nets, lost or abandoned fishing nets hundreds of meters long, threaten protected species and other marine organisms. Ghost nets often become concentrated in relatively small areas by wind and currents and can continue ghost fishing for extremely long periods until the net is removed from the environment.
These pictures show how the marine organisms affected by ghost net, after it been abandoned in the marine environment. The other threat is ingestion. Ingestion can occur accidentally, when an animal feeds on debris that looks like their food. The threat can be harmful to marine organisms because it can blockages of the esophagus and intestinal tract and can kill the organism. The sharp object can cause injuries and infections. And the toxins can accumulate in an animal's tissue, affecting the health and wellness of the organisms.
Some examples of ingestion. Seabird and hatchling sea turtles may eat plastic debris that is toxic, resulting in reproductive failure or death. Sea turtles may mistake floating debris for food, which can lead to suffocation or intestinal blockage. The whale can ingest marine debris that can become entangled in the baleen, cause choking or interfere with digestion.
Can marine debris affect habitat? Debris can damage coral reefs, seagrass, mangrove area, and other protected habitats. Marine debris can break or damage coral. Floating debris can carry non-native species or alien species for long distances that can alter habitats and ecosystem. Marine debris such as nets can block sunlight and prevent the growth of seagrass beds and coral reefs. Marine debris can cause obstruction, or alter important habitat used for shelter, feeding, or reproduction.
How can marine debris affect human life? Pacific Whale Foundation statistics show that humans dump more than 14 billion pounds of garbage each year into the world's ocean. Sound like a lot, right?
Marine debris can affect navigation. The submerged or floating debris can pose navigational hazards, or entangle vessel propellers. Human health and safety. Debris can injure swimmers when stepped on, or entangle divers and swimmers, endangering their lives. Affect local economy, result in lost tourism revenue. And to the industrial by damaging vessels and equipment.
Things we should know about marine debris. Degradable and not degradable. It comes in many forms. Marine debris can hurt or kill animals. Hazard to human. This is a global problem. It's your problem, too. Small steps lead to big results. So to reduce the marine debris, and to protect the ocean, we should practice 3R. Recycle, reduce, and reuse.
That is all for this chapter, Debris Pollution.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.